It's crazy to think that after 10 plus years of MCU films, this is the final chapter to the Infinity Saga. Now, Far From Home takes place presumably a few months after Endgame, as society has begun to adjust being back from the snap. Now, many mourn the loss of Avengers members such as Black Widow and Iron Man, and in this film, Peter Parker is trying to cope with the loss of his father figure in Tony Stark. So, Peter decides to embark on a journey through Europe with his classmates and friends to lead a normal teenage summer, but his plans are interrupted as Nick Fury calls upon his help. Now, after what occurred during Infinity War and Endgame, it's understandable for Peter Parker to want to take a holiday, but being a superhero, you're always on call, no matter where you are around the world. Parker is thrust into a new scenario as he's teamed up with a man named Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, and the two must hunt down and defeat a new enemy called the Elementals, who are spread out across Europe. What I really enjoyed about this film was the story and how well it handled the concept of Peter learning to be the hero he needs to be. Throughout this film, we see how Peter struggles to overcome the loss of Stark and how that has affected him personally. As well, there is a good focus on how Peter tries to balance between being a normal teenager and taking on the responsibility of being Spider-Man. All these concepts are handled well as the film runs smoothly from beginning to end. And even though we've seen this plot before of overcoming our fears to be greater than what we are, Far From Home does it in a way that brings a bit more development to Peter Parker, as well as establish what is to come for Spider-Man in the upcoming MCU phase. Another thing I really enjoyed about this film was the character Mysterio, who's played by Jake Gyllenhaal. I have to thank Marvel Studios and Sony for carefully handling the character Mysterio and introducing him into this film, as Gyllenhaal shines, by all means shines as the character Quentin Beck and brings an entertaining performance as the Master of Illusion. Seeing Spider-Man and Mysterio team up to defeat the Elementals is a definite highlight of this film. And most of the best moments of the film come from when these two are on the screen together and when Mysterio's tricks and abilities are on full display. Returning characters such as Ned and MJ have a lot more to do in this film, as their summer trip is also being hijacked by Nick Fury. As well, Tony Stark's best friend and chauffeur, Happy Hogan, makes a return as he lends assistance to Peter Parker, and there is an amusing subplot that involves him and Aunt May's rising relationship. But there was something I didn't quite care for in this film, and that is the humor. Now, don't get me wrong, I did get a couple of chuckles here and there, and a reference to Europe's own superhero Night Monkey got a good laugh out of me, but most of the time, many of the jokes felt a bit unpolished. Overall, I would have to say that Spider-Man Far From Home is a good addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as it wraps up the Infinity Saga and establishes what is to come in the next phase. In the end, I would have to give Spider-Man Far From Home a B+. If you've seen this film, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and if you haven't, now you know whether or not you want to watch it, but I'll catch y'all in the next review.